seconds here. So yeah, so we're recording now. The reason I chose this particular software for this platform, it has a couple of features that Instant Teleseminar doesn't have. So for those of you, when you will be using this or a webinar/teleseminar software, some of the things you might want to consider are important. With this software, you can do screen sharing, which means I can take, which is what I'm going to do initially, is take you around to certain websites to show you some resources and also to talk about where you can get content for your websites and for your classes and for whatever else, for your autoresponders, for your whatever. So in order to do that, Instant Teleseminar does not do that, and this software does allow me to go on the web and have you follow me. The other thing that I can do with this, it has, which Instant Teleseminar does have, and which we will also do, is do really a quick PowerPoint presentation. Those will all be recorded on the recording. However, it also has a feature that's going to allow me to play the video and the audio of a YouTube that I made that shows you how to repurpose your content and actually create ebooks for yourself, ebooks or reports that you can give away as either bonuses for your programs or as what they call a legal bribe to get people's email addresses, which is super important. So there's going to be a lot of good information, and then I'm going to also give you some odds and ends of information that really doesn't fit into any of the other modules. And I think that's all going to be useful. So you get to see an easy way to do a free website if that's what you choose to do instead of paying somebody to do it or doing it yourself. So we're also going to cover that as well. But what I wanted to add is the recording. When I go to the YouTube place and do the YouTube presentation, that does not get recorded. So also people who are phoning in, and I think I made a note of this, you cannot on the phone hear the YouTube information. And obviously if you're just on the phone, you can't get to see the websites either. You'll know where they are, but so that being said, why don't we go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put the screen sharing on, and the first thing that we're going to do is talk about, I want to talk to you about how I discovered free and low-cost content for you and how I took this free content and built it into a 5-figure-a-year site back in the early days of the internet. So we're going to do that piece first. So let's see how this works, because I haven't used this a lot. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to share with you before I go with that is this is called AnyMeeting. It's anymeeting.com. You can get your own anymeeting.com. It's free. And actually, you can have like an unlimited number of people come to your webinars using this. If you don't pay for it, if it is free, they do have little ads that are kind of like affixed to the right hand border of your web page, and that's how they make their money. But you know, it's not all that awful, because you can just like move your browser over out of your site and you can't even see them. So it's a good first webinar thing, and as I said, it does have some really good features. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to hope this works, and we'll see. Okay, let's see. So I told you all, I think when we were doing the niche thing, what you're looking at here, I talked about when we did the niche piece, how important it is to have a niche and how we started an adoption website. Well, this is a way back, but machine for websites. So what's really fun about this was my old website. It doesn't even go all the way back to the beginning, because all the way back in the beginning in 1996, I think, 1995 maybe, when I first got this website, adopting.org, because we were adopting, obviously, and there was not a lot of information out there. So, and the importance of this story I'm going to tell you is because you can use this same method to build up your business and to get your content that I used for this business. So that's the purpose of this. So this website, back in the very beginning, they didn't even have graphics. So some of this is like information that you probably never cared to learn ever, but it's I think it's kind of fascinating to get a little bit of history. So this actually was, you see on the upper right, it says April 12th of 1997. So this was a website that our site was already a couple of years old at that point. Because in the beginning, they didn't even have graphics. So there were no graphics. And you can see the text is all on one page. So it was like there were no columns, there was no nothing. It was just flat out text. And that before they had like figured out that they could put these text in tables and make it look formatted. And actually in the very, very beginning, they didn't even have bolding, this bolding in colors. They didn't have either. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But what we did then, we went to a government site called the National Adoption Information Clearinghouse. And any information that is provided by the U.S. government is public domain. So I took, and you can do this as well, any of the stories. So I took all these stories, FAQ about adoption. There was, well, some of this stuff this is already my stuff, but here we go. How to adopt, what's a home study, how can I use networking. Some of this I had written because I'd already made like a magazine, a national magazine that I was putting out like every other month. So, but what is open adoption? How does it work? This article, I'm going to just click on it. Let's see. Here it is. So you can see this is what websites look like, minus all these buttons. The buttons weren't there either back then, but it was just flat out text. So this is from the National Adoption Information Clearinghouse, but you can take any of their articles, publications, and use that in your own site without, I always say, well, I think I usually say where it's from, but you don't have to. And you can just use it without anybody's, without getting permission from anybody. So what you want to do, and actually what I did, because I've been doing addiction recovery coach thing, but what you want to do is you just go to Google and put, so this is the Diabetes Clearinghouse, but just put Government Clearinghouse. It helps if you spell it right. Here it is, Government Clearinghouse. And so you can see all the stuff, guidelines by topic. Actually, I should have gone back to that. Let me go back. They have an amazing list, and this is like a by topic. You can go to any of these topics. They've got an incredible amount of information about just about any topic that you can want to think of. I used part of their, I'll tell you what, another really great place is the NIH, which has all the medical stuff, nih.gov. Incredible stuff on autism. They've got Alzheimer's information. So if you're dealing with or sharing, they also have business stuff too. So for those of you who are on the business side, but I've used part of their information. I think it's SAMHSA. clearinghouse. And they've got a ton of like free books that it says that they may charge you for shipping, but they don't. I've never had to pay for any of them. I've gotten stacks of books on anger, how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with, there's all kinds of LGBT population information, psychological first aids for first responders. There's an incredible amount of publications on so many topics. So, and it's all free. Not only is it all free, but for example, in my first book that I put out was Overcome Addiction. Now, one whole chapter is actually the text from part of one of these sites. I don't know whether I got it from the NIH but there's got multiple sites where you can do this. So that's and obviously that's free. So I built this site up with all this content, and then pretty soon people wanted to put their banners on it because there was so much traffic coming to it. And then I started collecting money for that, which is kind of like how your website and building a mailing list. And I can't overemphasize the importance of building up a mailing list. So, giving away some of this content for free to people in exchange for their email addresses. So I think I had a mailing list of probably close to 100,000 people. And then we had forums for birth mothers and forums for, had a store, had a Dear Birth Mother letter, so those people who wanted to put their birth mother letters on our site also were paying. So it turned into quite a business, not on purpose, and it just kind of grew organically, which is what I really love, is when a site just grows organically. Now, I want to share, and then what happened was I got so big I didn't know what the heck to do with it, and I wasn't smart enough to outsource or build a team around me. So there's another lesson for you, just for future reference, because I was doing everything myself, and then I finally got so big I didn't know what to do. I did have one person working for me, and so what happened then was I thought, oh my gosh, my competition, Adoption.com, decided they really wanted to buy it. So I went like, okay, and by then I was ready to move on anyway, so I sold it for a nice, tidy sum. So anyway, that's one place. Now I want to share with you a place where it actually costs a little bit, but it's well worth the cost, and that is private label rights information. So I'm going to take you to a couple of places that you can use. I like this one. Let's see. I think this is it here. Top-notch articles. So what I like about this particular site is that they have the topics over here. So it's really easy to find what you're interested in, what you want. And it tells you what's provided, talks a little bit about what PLR is. Obviously, you can use this for blog posts. You can use this for if you're doing podcasts, for example. Turn some of it in. Some of it's actually already an ebook, so you could offer that as your ethical bribe to get email addresses. You can use it for do a free course, a free e-course to get people to sign up for your site. So here's some ebooks on PLR. Let's see. They tell you also about the PLR license, which I'll tell you, usually the PLR license is, you can use any of the content, you can put your name on it, you can add stuff to it and put it on your site, or you can just keep it as is. One caveat, if you are wanting to sell books on Amazon or Kindle, in order to use the PLR, you really need to add your stuff to it and make it yours. They won't let you like just grab someone else's stuff and put it up. Although, to be honest, I've seen it on Amazon, because one of the PLR books that I bought, I saw on Amazon being sold. So I guess it's what you can get by with like much of life. Anyway, here's just the stuff about this is particularly about ebooks, but there's an infinite number. Let's see. Here's coaching PLR. It's kind of interesting. PLR articles on coaching, which you could use. The benefits of business coaching tips, So, and usually these things come in a pack. $1 for each article, not bad. 4 articles, for example, on this one. They're usually delivered to you in a zip file. So you just unzip it, and it's usually in text file. Some of the stuff is actually in PDF already, and some of it is in doc, or some of it's in both. Personal development, parenting, nutrition. You can see plumbing. I mean, you've got everything: pregnancy, psoriasis, real estate, Reiki, scrapbooking, self-esteem, blah 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 blah. It's endless, and really reasonable prices, and certainly worth it. If you're going to do this, I would check the prices, because some of the pricing of some of the sites is a little off the charts, too high. So you might want to check around before you do it. I want to give you another site that's got really good PLR, which is PLR Store. So this, I'll tell you what I like about this site is they not only have books and articles, they also have video, web audios, different templates. Let's see what else. They've got a raft of things. Golf vacations, kind of interesting. Dentistry, and again, on the right side, you can see the list of topics, and it is like exhaustive. It's like if you can't find something that you could use, there's just about everything. So aquariums, that's interesting. Okay, affiliate marketing. Okay, now those are just on the articles. Now they also have books, and they have turnkey digital stores, which, to be honest, I haven't looked at yet. I'll look in a minute, because I haven't always looked at that. Different software. They've got reviews, graphics, audio, videos, tweets that you can do, you know. I'll see what some of these tweets are for. Maybe they won't give you a sample. Instant cash tweets, PLR package with private. Okay, so these are all about instant cash. Birds, blogging. Anyway, so it looks like you have tweets about all these things too. I haven't been through this exhaustively, but the pricing is really good on this stuff. So, for example, $2.99, $9.99. So, weight loss boot camp ebook package. Social marketing, traffic generation, weight loss. So that should give you an idea. Oh, they also have graphics. I wanted to, you can buy graphics. Let's see if I can put my finger on it right away or not. There it is. Let's see. Header graphics, people graphics. It's not a bad price, $5.99. 18 niche reports with PLR e-covers. That's not bad. That's good. good price for that. Different niches, reports with graphics to go with, how to sell your home, how to sell party supplies, how to sell clothing, da 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 da. So they're giving you the cover as well. And actually, the YouTube that I'm going to show you will show you how you can make your own covers if you want to. And there's another site that I'm going to talk about. Well, actually, I can talk about it now. But actually, before I do that, I want to show you, because I bought some PLR video that I'm using for an ethical bribe for my for a course that I'm going to be doing on to end emotional eating, that goes with a book that I wrote a couple of years ago and still haven't done anything about. But here's the okay, let me turn the sound off on this because I don't want to listen to that sound. Anyway, it's just a musical background, and it's got like a video, and there's a set of 9 videos that comes with, and also they give you this web page. So I didn't even make this web page. The web page was part of the PLR thing that I got with this. And so it comes with 9 little videos. I think this thing was like less than $20 or $30 for the whole package, and it's got has this web page with the obviously the thing that you have to add to this particular page. With this is what we call a squeeze page. You've heard us talk about the squeeze page or the landing page, where you want them to either put their name and email address in exchange for an ethical bribe. So this is the ethical bribe. So, and the ethical bribe is like a 9 video weight loss strategy course that comes into their email, and it comes 1 a day for I think it's 9, so you get another video. So that's like almost a month's worth of videos. It's a good way to stay in touch with your with the people who are connecting to you, and so I don't have to do anything. Once they sign up, it's all done automatically. And that, again, is done with an autoresponder, which we've also talked about. So, for example, I use eye contact, but MailChimp is a good one to get free. And the main one that many people use is Aweber. They're all, the one that I use, eye contact, is a lot cheaper. Aweber, I think, starts out at $20 a month. So just heads up to what most people are using. Again, you don't absolutely have to use any of these, but this is just one technique that people use in order to build their list, which is important, is to get a list and get connected to the people whom you want to serve and who you want to be there for. So, okay. That being said, I wanted to, let's see where I wanted to go. Oh, I know, it's going to show you Fiverr. Many of you, I'm sure some of you have heard of Fiverr. There's a lot of things that people will do for $5. It is a very useful site. People will make logos for you for $5. Some of them are great. Some of them are not all that great, but you know, you always can leave feedback. So I've had many things done here. I've had them build me like a 3-second graphic. Oh, I'll show that to you over on my Google site. No, actually, it's on my YouTube site. I had them build a 3-second intro, but they do video stuff. They can do articles for you. They can do writing for you. They can do an infinite number of what they call gigs. Everything is called a gig. And most of them start out at $5. Then you can add, so here's a flat icon. I will design a flat icon for $5. And then they show you usually some examples Some you might like, some you might not like. I have to say I don't know that I would get any of these necessarily, but there's definitely a lot of cartoons and character logo design. Let's see if there's anything else. Some of these look kind of interesting. So that logo's kind of interesting. The social woman design is interesting. So, but there is an infinite number, and you can see how many people see this one's rated 99% overall rating. So it is well worth looking at if there's like little things that you'd want done. Some of these are kind of, I like that, you know. It's, you just kind of tell them what you want or what you need, and they'll do it. I've also had them put together for me some video. I mean, I've given them a couple of pieces of video, and they put it together into like a to talk about our services, etc. But I want to show you the intro thing. I think it's on my YouTube. Overcome addiction now, maybe. I'm not sure if they did. Yeah, this one. This was done by Fiverr. It's like 3 seconds, so you'll miss it if you blink. But it's like a little thing that's, well, it didn't really show because it was too short. But anyway, what it is, it's like this glass thing that it just kind of flips. Let me see. You can't really see it because it goes too fast, and it just flips over and it says release from addictions, and then it's got my website on it. So you can't really see it in the thing. So much for that. So here's another site that I want you to know about, which is called Wix.com, because they let you use all their templates, and you can make, oh, you know what, this is not going to work because they think I already had signed up, but yeah, maybe I can show you some of the templates. But it doesn't cost anything to do it. It might be a place where you can go and kind of just experiment around, because you don't have to buy anything. If you like what you've done, then obviously that's how they make their money, because most of these are really professional looking, and so you go, oh, I know I made my son Jason one. I made it using the gym thing, which is also free. Now some of the templates are free and some you have to pay for if you want them. But we use the one on the gym. Let me see, because it was such a nice health and beauty, maybe it was under weight loss journey. Anyway, it was one for a gym. I don't want to waste a lot of time running around here because you guys can go look at it yourself. And it was like, it wasn't like this. It was like, this is fitness training. Maybe they took it down because everybody liked it. I don't know. But anyway, it was so nice that I actually, and it was like, I think $90 for the whole year. So I gave it to my son. He never used it, but anyway. So after a year I stopped it, but anyway, it was very well done. Let's see. So they've got business services, advertising and marketing, cars. You can see they've got a lot of stuff. Nonprofits, online store. Those aren't bad. So yeah, you can drag and drop, so you can take some of them as change the pictures, change the wording, change the different things if you happen to like them. But I think they have a really good selection of templates, and they're very clean and easy to look at. I don't see any. I've got blank ones. See what most popular is. I don't see any that have and I wouldn't recommend not having a place where people can sign up. I wouldn't recommend not having a place that people can sign up for your stuff. So something that's got a opt-in box in it. And I don't see any opt-in boxes on any of these actually. Yeah, but that is one place that you might want to just go to experiment around if you don't have a website yet and aren't really sure where you want to go with the website situation, because as I said, that is free. Okay, another free resource, let me make sure, yeah, another free resource is selfgrowth.com, which has a couple of million people a month coming to it. And for free, you can make your own expert page. They have different sections depending on what you're coaching in, whether it's success skills. Let's say, go to success skills. They have an infinite, you can see an infinite number of areas: brain enhancement, body language, attitude and perspective, continuing education, ebooks, EFT, which is that tapping thing, emotional intelligence, empowering women, empowerment by itself, executive and executive coaching, etc. So there's an infinite number of different areas. That's just in success skills, and then there's relationship health. I actually am the coach for 12-step programs. The guide for 12-step programs. It's been a really valuable resource because actually, to be honest, I haven't been that active about staying in touch. So staying in touch with the people who are on my list. Unfortunately, recorded, and I don't really like to say that out loud, but it's true. But because I am hooked up here at selfgrowth.com, I continually get people signing up to my list. So it's a really good place. And so you can either see over here on the right, it says find an expert or become an expert. So what you want to do, you might want to look around at some of the experts, different topics. So 12-step programs. And so then they list all the experts in 12-step programs here. So you can see there are a lot of experts in 12-step programs. There's a lot probably on each one of these things. And so then they can just click on you, click on your name, and then you've got like a section where you put your main areas that you are interested in, your best. If you happen to have published anything, you can put it there. Career focus, affiliation, main areas, that's always career focus. Oh, it's the same thing. That's just a repeat. Interesting. And then you have a place to put your bio, and then you can put publish your articles here, which is good for. This is a win-win for these folks. So you get the exposure of 2 million people a month coming to self-growth. So the chances of your stuff being seen is a lot greater. Not only that, but it's good for your Google, for your search engine optimization, because you come up on Google because self-growth is so high on the search engines. You can sorry about that. Anyway, because it's so high on the search engine, that it makes your stuff accessible as well. And also you get links that will show up if somebody does a search on you or on your topic as well. So it's free to do it. So that's cool. And you can also put your website on the end of your articles. So and Mackenzie's talked to you, I'm sure, I know, about doing that, because she's done a lot with article publishing, a lot more than I have. But on the bottom, let me see if this shows on the bottom. Yeah, so for information, you can put visit, and then you just put your URL to your website. So you've got search engines. Also, look at the number of links you have to big sites. So this is a really good way not to do multiple things, not only to get your word out there, but to get traffic to your site, and also to rank higher in search engines. So, okay, so that is that. Oh, and I also wanted to show you, before I go over to the talk about repurposing your content, is a PLR that I have. Let's see. I bought this PLR for these 10 products probably a long time ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while, and I'll tell you what I've used them for. I don't even remember how much it was, but it wasn't that much really to get all of them. It may have been about $90, $100. Anyway, it was so there's 10 products, 10 books, and what this is, let me click on this so you can see the description. What it is 10 different ebooks, which each have 6 parts to them. So I'll tell you what I've used it for, in addition to selling it to other people, is to take, for example, this is Unstoppable Confidence. I've published ebooks with all of the products, I think, or most of the products, not all of them. The ones that were most useful to me. This one is one which I think I made a book out of. And then what I did is, like, see these 6 parts. So each chapter has different exercises in it. So I took this and I actually made it into a class, and held a group class, which was really quite successful, 6 weeks. And so each week I used one section of this thing, and actually we had like a Tele Seminar, and I put the content for the week was given to them, and then they did the exercises, and we in the Tele Seminar we shared I did like a quick teaching thing, and then sharing of our experiences of what we did when we did the exercises. So it was a fun way, a good way to use it, and I've also sold the actual book or given it away as a bonus as well. So how to get what you want in life. Again, this is 6 parts, and it tells you all the different parts here. Discover what your life is really about. A goal-setting workshop, mapping out what you want in your life, how to take action, how to overcome the obstacles that get in your way, how to stay on track or keep motivated, and creating the life that you truly deserve. So another one. And the third one is how to manage your lost career. Again, there's 6 parts to this one as well, with exercises, etc. This one is really good. The effective communication skills. It not only goes over active listening and how communication happens, etc., but it also has some really interesting research about how you can look at somebody, which way their eyes go, right or left, and tell whether they're actually telling the truth, and also where they're looking or what kind of person they are. Or they tend to be outgoing or ingoing. I mean, it's just some fascinating stuff. Anyway, get motivated, another one. And the one I use, that's another good one. Okay, this one, thinking of becoming a coach. I actually use this as a free giveaway on CoachAcademyInc.com. So, And then there's also a life evaluator assessment, which I love because it's a really quick way of giving you a picture of like where people are in terms of what are problems in their lives. It's really quite effective. So all of these can be like reformatted, which obviously you have to do because they're just mostly in text format. And in the YouTube I'm going to play for you, it'll show you how to actually take the text that I got from one of these and actually make it, how I actually made it into a book and how I made a book cover and the process that I use. So that will come, we'll do that shortly. Yeah. So before we do that, let me see. And oh yeah, then it also gives you all the book covers and it gives you separately. So you get all these boxes that you can use. Oh, and you also have 20 newsletters, which these articles are really great. There's 20 articles that you can use like in newsletters. Because I do like a monthly newsletter you can put on your blog. So those are good too. Anyway, so then, and always have a money back guarantee. You want to do that instant. So this is just a PayPal button. You just put your PayPal button in there. Link to, and that's that. So you can get some really useful PLR stuff for it's well worth it, the price, I have to say. Okay, so let's see. I think that's good for that. So, I'm going to go ahead and let's talk about repurposing content. So this is a PowerPoint bunch of PowerPoint slides that I did. This is based on another coach's material. I am so indebted to so many coaches who have so freely shared of their information. And this guy is an amazing guy. His name is Brendan Bouchard. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think that's close. But you may very well have seen his stuff because he's all over the place too. And he's frequently on TV as well with Dr. Phil or Anderson Cooper or who knows who else. Anyway, he's got $1 zillion, I don't know how many times over, a millionaire kind of guy, but he's got really good information. And I think that what I like about this is just talking about he talks about these 12 products. You can make $100,000 on any of these products. So I'm going to quickly go through this. Ebooks he talks about you can sell for this pricing I would say is a little bit too high. Back when it was done you could probably get $37 for an ebook. And these days ebooks are going for a lot cheaper. So the idea though is just to show you what you would need to do in order to make $100,000, which is to sell 2703 in a year. And you can make 100,000. And then he breaks it down to the month, which I also like. So in order to do this, you need to sell 225 units in every month in order to, in 12 months, to make 100,000. So also pay attention to the different ways you can repurpose your PLR information or your other content. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just, Crystal saying she can't hear clearly. So, thanks for the feedback. Let me just make this note to Crystal. It should be okay on the replay. Usually it depends. It depends on your internet connection. So, so I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Hopefully, try the replay. I will send you the link. Okay, so next is, what I wanted to say is pay attention to the different ways that you can repurpose your content. So audio programs can be a really good way of repurposing content, and for this, it could just be MP3 files, actually. So you can charge about $297. That's a fair number for a course, let's say a 6-week course, or this is about 5 weeks according to this thing. You don't necessarily see, these are kind of out now, so it's more like just MP3s. But you can make, if you sell 337 in a year or 28 units a month, which would be about 1 a day, you can make $100,000. Tele Seminars, which you can get 47, that's a fair enough price. Again, 21.28 in a year to make $100,000. So that would be like 177 every month in order to reach that. A DVD course, which entails a little bit more in production. Some of these you would probably need some outside help to put together. I certainly would. I can create DVDs, but you really would need somebody who really knew what they were doing to assist with this one in particular. 100 units in a year if you sold it for $1,000. A lot of things go for $9.99, so it's very possible that you could do like 8 units a month and then you could make $100,000. So you can see some of this is quite doable. Some of it actually is a little bit more difficult, but a subscription site, for example, and I've been in subscription sites that are $97 a month, for example. This one he's talking about is 67. So you need $14.92 for a year, or $124 every month to get to that. Webinars, $67 for a webinar. Depending on the content, that could be a good price. And again, $14.93 in a year, or 124 people every month would get you to that. Tools and templates, $97. So, for example, the products that I had, for example, it might be an example. So if I sold 1,031 in a year, or 86 people bought them, I could make $100,000. Seminars and retreats. This is a little tricky. $497 is about the going for some of them. That's probably pretty accurate. So 202 people, or if you were doing one every month, 17 people at each retreat. The thing with a retreat or seminar is you're frequently dealing with a physical space as well. So the costs of that are, you'd have to clear this, and there are frequently a lot of costs with renting out facilities, for example, just depending on where you had it. You know, if you had it in a church basement, that would be a different thing, but if you're holding it in a resort location somewhere, that's a whole different story. So that definitely adds to considerations for that particular product. Speaking engagements, frequently people can get $5,000 for a speech, or if you're Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton, way more. So 20 of these in a year, or 1.7 events every month So let's say you did two events a month, you could hit 100,000 for that. Online courses frequently can go for $9.97. That's not an outrageous price. 8 people a month, if you did this every month, would bring you to 100,000. Coaching and counseling. If you were charging $2,000 and you had 50 clients, you'd be there. That could be 4 clients a month. So very, very doable, you can see. Mastermind programs. There are some out there that are worth $10,000, and all you need is 10 people, and you're there in a mastermind program. Kristen Michelson, I've shared with you. Kristen Michelson charges $100,000, I think, for coaching. I think just for one person per year. Maybe even more than that now. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so that is that. Now, I hope this next piece, I'm going to go ahead and play a YouTube. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and play it, but you know, for those of you who are having a hard time hearing, let me type this in here actually. I'm going to find this thing. And let's see. I'm going to type it in the chat box. So let's see here. For those of you who don't have a good connection, you might want to go, I'm going to type, after I start this, I can go ahead and put it in the chat box. Okay, so I see that Crystal had a little bit of a problem. It looks like she logged off and logged back on and could hear a lot clearer. Thanks for that. As I said earlier, if your connection's a problem, the replay should be okay. So I will send everybody the replay. And let's see. If there are any questions, I had tried unmuting everybody. I could suppose but there was too much of an echo when I did it. So if anyone has any questions, there's a chat box down here on the left side. So you could type anything in if you want. Obviously, you know I'm available by email and phone. Next week, Mackenzie's going to do the class. It'll be the last class, and she will go over what you need to do as far as getting what you need to get to her, the formatting, etc., for your homework, etc. And so any other questions you can also bring to her, either one of us. So I'm going to wait for just a second and see if anybody types in a question. Let me ask you, I also would love feedback because this is the first time I've really used this for a class. Feedback, was this useful or was it too difficult to hear, to follow and hear? Did anybody else other than Crystal have some problems with this? Oh, super. Thanks, Nicole. So I'm actually thinking about using this for my, oh, good. Thank you, Liz. I'm thinking about using this for my end emotional eating classes. It can be tricky, though. You know, it depends on your internet connection. It can depend on a lot of things, but mostly your internet connection. So I was glad to get Crystal's feedback, too, about she just went off and went back on. So anyone else, feel free during the week to let me know if it was helpful for you. I will get the link out to you, and also the thing for the thingy doozer for the ebook that you can use for your ebook to make your own ebooks. So I hope that's helpful. Have an awesome week, guys. Have so loved being here and being a part of this class. It's just been so fun for me. I love it. Anyway, I'm not sure that I'm going to be on next week, so in case I can't make it, I will for sure be in touch anyway. Don't hesitate to call me, guys. Love hearing from you. Awesome. Okay. See you whenever. Bye. Thanks.